Hello, we are live. I'm Diana. I'm a life coach, and you know me a bit because I've been doing this many more times. So today I'm talking with Agni. Agni, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit before we get into the conversation?
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you, Diana, for inviting me to this live.
You're welcome.
It's really cool to be here with everyone as well. So my name is Agni, Agni Tsirogianni. I'm a life coach as well. I call myself transformational coach because I feel like working with me means transforming your life. And my motto is when I work with people, with my clients, my motto is that your answers are within you, and I'm the person that accompany my clients, people that I work with, to find their answers within. So that's a bit about me.
Very nice. Yes. What shall we talk about today? Do you have any good ideas?
Yeah, we can talk whatever you feel, you know, and any topic that comes to your mind. We might talk about unconditional love. That's something that is very,
it's a very good topic.
Cool. So that's a bit of a top of my head at the moment. I'm just working on some things in regards to unconditional love. So yeah, that would be a good one.
That is really, really a nice topic. Not too long ago, I was in a conversation with someone, and he said to me that with love, it's always unconditional. So adding the word unconditional is not really necessary. I could see his point, but I think a lot of love is conditional, and then it makes it more clear for a lot of people to add the word unconditional to it, what you're talking about. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think we've been conditioned and, you know, by society, by even, you know, our families to believe that love is conditional.
Yes.
So I think, unfortunately, probably we still need to add this, you know, thing about love, unconditional love. But I believe, you know, love is love.
Yeah.
And there is no condition to it, but we have forgotten. So we are almost relearning, or maybe trying to remember that it is unconditional. So I think it always was, it always will be. But as I said, you know, we've got a lot of programming in our heads that actually keep us from remembering it, let's say.
It's I always think about the book The Four Agreements, in which they talk about the domestication of humans, and in that, when you read that book, you do really learn what all the conditions are that we've been taught over the years. Because in school, you get taught that only when you do things in a certain way, you're a good student at home, you're a good child when you do certain things, and later in life, employers, it doesn't matter. Church, it really doesn't matter. Everywhere you get taught to stick to certain rules, otherwise you're not a good child or person. So we learn very quickly from very young on that love is conditional, because love does get withdrawn for all sorts of reasons.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, I feel that, you know, we've been conditioned to believe that love is conditional.
Yeah.
And that's a sad fact. But, you know, there is a hope, of course. And, you know, as I said, you know, we've got everything within us. So it's just really to kind of, you know, tap into that resources within us to remember again that we are already enough. There is nothing we have to do. There is no particular way that we need to perform in life or be certain way to be accepted. But obviously, you know, it is easy to be said, but you know, I went through very I mean, many of us did, but just to kind of, you know, say as an example, you know, I went through discovering that, you know, when you go and try to accept yourself so deeply, there is that point. I mean, in my life, definitely, there was that point, and I came to this a bit of a shadowy place in me that I felt that I needed to almost discover, you know, that love is unconditional, but that was that condition there, that maybe that part in me wasn't accepted. at some point in my life, or maybe society told me that you should work towards changing it, I don't know, adapting it to the certain standards, to be the way other people want to see you. And that was definitely a huge process. But when you, I think you're ready to go through that process, it's a beautiful one, because as I said, you kind of go back to your home almost, because that's what we already have within. And this is just so settling and so peaceful. Just allowing yourself to be who you are, really.
I found it in a lot of pictures of children. You can really see that essence still of them, that happy, that place where they're at ease. So it's frequently what I've noticed, younger pictures from before they were 4 or 5 years old. Some children don't, but they come from a more difficult background than others. So, but very often you can see in these really young pictures this happiness that's just there, that's unquestioned.
Yeah.
And then we start questioning.
Exactly that. And when you are talking about that, Diana, it's just, feels, I have these chills on my back, because it's so, profound what you are talking about. Definitely, the journey that many of us might have even, more profound is like, when we are becoming mothers, and obviously not only for that, but when we are also with relationship with other, on the deeper level, when we touch these spaces, when we need to almost heal and see that there is something, there that haven't been really embraced fully, let's say. For me was that moment of if I may share, it was,
of course,
like, I feel there is something wrong with me, that part was almost, needed that acceptance, that unconditional love. And there is nothing wrong with anyone, it's just that, we haven't been given a space to remember, and as you said, going back to children, just to carry on that joy of being who we are, the way we are, expressing the things the way we want to express, rather than the standards that we need to apply to, or the school tells us, etc. So definitely it's a huge thing to really look at, I suppose, from
it's a beautiful place to be, when you can feel the unconditional love for yourself, because a lot of us are even some of us are even more conditional towards ourselves than others. So that's quite the journey to get to that point of, I'm okay the way I am, there's nothing wrong, it's all fine. It's not an easy journey.
But I love that. It's just, that's affirming that for yourself. I think it's also, a great place to start, I suppose, from. I mean, if that may help, I suppose, when maybe I would kind of share that, when we sometimes we might feel that we have that unconditional love. But it's when we open our hearts more, like towards our children or in relationships, that's when we go and go and go to the point where we actually either open more, or we kind of like, not sure. Would that be okay? Would that person, accept that bit in me? And it doesn't have to be anything in particular.
No.
It's just our fear that we are not okay. I mean, in our wholeness, let's say.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I used to really struggle there. And for a long time, when someone would say something, feedback even, it didn't have to be bad. It could be something relatively positive, but still feedback where something was not entirely okay, or whether I could grow from something. That would be difficult to listen to. I would also usually first start thinking that there was something wrong with me and that I was not seeing things the right way. But then I learned that I was seeing things the right way for me, not necessarily for them. And that was fascinating to learn, that I have to take care of me first before I can take care of anybody else. Are you still there? Because this has been really good, this conversation. So it would be a shame when the freezing of Zoom has happened, of either you or me. I'll be leaving this either way. I think you're frozen again. Yep. Okay, well, as unfortunately Agni froze and popped off by, I don't know what's with Zoom today, because we've had that earlier today already. And it's quite a shame, but I really enjoyed the conversation that Agni and I had. I know that Agni is going to organize a very intimate workshop on unconditional love for mothers. So if you want to have any contact with her on that, do message her. She's on Facebook, and I will tag her into this so that you can find her. I wish you all a lovely day, and see you next time. Bye.